Have you ever felt like a social chameleon? Changing your colors, your opinions, your desires just to fit in, to be accepted, to not make waves? You know that feeling of swallowing a no and letting a yes slip out almost reflexively while a part of you screams in silence. This is a universal experience, a subtle trap that many of us fall into without even realizing it. It is the disease of people-pleasing. An impulse that seems noble, that seems to come from a place of kindness, but which, deep down, can be the slowest and most painful form of self-sabotage. Think for a moment about your most precious asset, the one resource you cannot buy, recover, or manufacture: your time. Every second that passes is a grain of sand falling through the hourglass of your existence. And the question we must ask ourselves with brutal honesty is, to whom are we giving these grains of sand? Are we investing them in our own journey, our values, our peace? Or are we generously distributing them to appease the expectations, desires, and demands of everyone around us, leaving for ourselves only what's left? Life, this incredibly complex and frighteningly brief journey, is too short to be lived as a supporting actor in someone else's movie. It's too short to build an entire life based on the fear of disapproval. Stoicism, this ancient yet ever-relevant philosophy, teaches us about the dichotomy of control, the wisdom of focusing on what is within our power, our thoughts, our actions, our character, and accepting with serenity what is not, like the opinions of others. And what if I told you that the need to please is, essentially, a desperate attempt to control the uncontrollable? In our time together today, we will dive deep into the roots of this behavior. We will understand why we feel this compulsion, what real price we pay for it, and most importantly, how we can, step by step, free ourselves from this invisible prison. This is not a journey about becoming selfish or insensitive. On the contrary, it's about becoming so authentic and integrated that your generosity and your yes become truly meaningful, because they are born from choice, not from coercion. Are you ready to start reclaiming your own life? If you are in search of more authenticity, of strengthening your inner voice, and of living a life aligned with your true values, this content is for you. So go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, because with every video, you will untie one more knot that prevents you from being who you were truly born to be. Let's start by understanding where this need comes from. Why do we care so much? The truth is, we weren't born this way. We are molded. From childhood, we learn that approval is a form of security. The child who pleases their parents gets a smile, a compliment, affection. The child who behaves in school is rewarded. We learn, on a very primitive level, that conformity equals love and acceptance, and disagreement equals the risk of rejection, of abandonment. This programming is powerful and follows us into adulthood. The boss who needs to be pleased, the partner whose expectations must be met, the friends we can't disappoint. The stage changes, but the actor and the script remain the same. This search for external validation is like trying to fill a leaky bucket. No matter how much approval you receive, it drains out through the holes of your own lack of self-worth. You get a compliment at work and feel good for an hour, maybe a day. But soon the feeling fades and you need a new dose. It becomes an addiction. An endless cycle of seeking outside what can only be built inside. And the cost of this is your identity. Slowly you forget what you like, what you want, what you dream of. Your life becomes a patchwork quilt stitched together with the desires of others. And one day you look in the mirror and no longer recognize the person you see. Who are you, besides a collection of met expectations? Another deep root is the fear of conflict. Many of us were taught that harmony at all costs is a virtue. That to disagree is to fight, that to set a boundary is to be aggressive. So, to avoid the discomfort of a difficult conversation, of a possible argument, we give in. We say yes to an invitation we didn't want to accept, we agree with an opinion we don't share, we take on a task that will overwhelm us. Each of these small yes is a betrayal of ourselves. And these small betrayals, accumulated over years, corrode our self-esteem from the inside out. We begin to believe that our needs, our feelings, and our time are worth less than those of others. And that, my friend, is a dangerous lie. The Stoic Seneca said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." We waste time on useless worries, on activities that do not enrich us, and, above all, on living a life that is not ours. The need to please is one of the greatest thieves of time and energy that exists. Imagine the amount of mental energy you spend trying to guess what others want, worrying about what they will think, rehearsing conversations in your head so as not to offend anyone. That energy could be used to create, to learn, to rest, to love, to truly live. The first step to healing is diagnosis. You must have the courage to admit, I have the disease of people-pleasing. It's looking at your recent actions and asking yourself, did I do this because I really wanted to, Or because I was afraid of what would happen if I didn't? Be honest with yourself. Remember the last favor you did while feeling resentful. Remember the last time you stayed silent when you wanted to speak. Remember the last event you went to, counting the minutes until you could leave. These are the symptoms. And recognizing them is not a sign of weakness, but the first act of courage on the path to freedom. Now let's talk about the price. The cost of living to please is much higher than we imagine. It's measured not just in lost time but in mental and physical health. Resentment, for example, is a poison we drink hoping the other person will die. When you say yes wanting to say no, a small seed of resentment is planted. Resentment towards the person who asked, but mainly resentment towards yourself for not having defended yourself, for not having honored yourself. This accumulated resentment turns into bitterness, into cynicism. It leaks out in passive-aggressive comments, in disproportionate outbursts over small things. It's your authentic self, suffocated, trying to breathe. Besides resentment comes anxiety. Living to please is living in a constant state of high alert. Did they like it? Did I say the right thing? What if they get upset? Your mind becomes a battlefield of hypothetical scenarios, most of them negative. You live in the future, trying to predict and control the reactions of others, an impossible task that drains your peace of mind. This chronic anxiety has physical consequences. Muscle tension, headaches, sleep problems, a compromised immune system. Your body is literally paying the price for your lack of authenticity. And perhaps the most tragic cost of all is the loss of genuine connection. Relationships based on the need to please are, by definition, superficial. If people like you for the mask you wear, they don't truly like you. They like your performance. And you will never feel truly seen, loved, or accepted because you know that, deep down, you are hiding who you are. The irony is that in our desperate search for connection through agreeableness, we become incapable of truly connecting. True connection only happens in vulnerability, in honesty, in the courage to show who we are, with our qualities and imperfections. And yes, some people may not like it. Some people may leave. And that's a good thing. Because it makes room for the right people, those who will love you for your authenticity, to find you. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, wrote in his Meditations to himself, constantly reminding himself to focus on his own character. He said, "Be more concerned with your conscience than with your reputation. Because your conscience is what you are, and your reputation is what others think of you. And what others think of you is their problem." This is the essence of the Stoic antidote to the disease of pleasing. It's a radical shift in focus, from outside to inside. It's understanding that the only approval you need, the only one that truly nourishes and sustains you, is your own. It's being able to lay your head on the pillow at night and know, today I was true to myself. Today I lived with integrity. So, how do we begin this journey from the inside out? How do we unlearn years, perhaps decades, of conditioning? It's not with one grand, dramatic gesture. It's not about telling everyone to get lost. It's with small, consistent acts of daily courage. It's a process, a practice. The first practical step is to create a space between the request and your response. The need to please operates on autopilot. Someone asks for something and the yes is already on the tip of your tongue before you've even processed it. We need to interrupt this reflex. The technique is simple but powerful, the pause. When someone asks you for something, train yourself not to answer immediately. Take a deep breath and say a magic phrase, "Let me think about it and get back to you." Or, "I need to check my schedule, I'll let you know shortly." This pause is your gateway to freedom. In this space of time you can consult yourself. You can ask your inner self, do I really want to do this? Do I have the time and energy for this? Will doing this bring me joy or resentment? Is this aligned with my goals and values? The pause gives you back the power of choice. The second step is to start small. If you've spent your whole life saying yes, trying to say a big resounding no to your boss or a close family member can be terrifying. So start in low-stakes situations. Say, "No, thank you," to the pushy salesperson in the store. Say, "No," when a friend invites you to something you genuinely don't want to do, instead of making up an elaborate excuse. Say, "I'd love to, but I need some time to rest today." Observe what happens. The world doesn't end. The person will probably say, "Okay," and move on. And you will feel a small but vibrant wave of self-respect. Each of these small no's is a workout, a muscle you are strengthening. The muscle of your authenticity. The third step, and this is crucial, is to define your values. If you don't know what is important to you, it's impossible to protect your time and energy. You become susceptible to any external demand. Ask yourself, what is non-negotiable in my life? Is it my health? Is it time with my family? Is it my creative development? Is it my peace of mind? Write these values down. Make them your personal constitution. When a new opportunity or request arises, run it through the filter of your values. Does this move me closer to or further from what is most important to me? Having this clarity gives you a solid foundation for making decisions. Your no ceases to be an act of selfishness and becomes an act of loyalty to your principles. One of the biggest barriers to saying no is guilt. We feel like we're letting someone down, that we're being selfish. Here we need a profound reframing. Understand this. Every time you say no to something you don't want to do, you are saying a powerful yes to yourself. You are saying yes to your rest. Yes to your priorities. Yes to your mental health. Yes to your own dreams. It is not selfishness, it is self-compassion. It's recognizing that you are also a person whose needs matter. And paradoxically, when you start taking care of yourself, you have much more genuine energy and willingness to help others from a place of abundance, not obligation. Another crucial point is learning to communicate your boundaries clearly and respectfully. Saying no doesn't have to be rude. Honesty can be kind. You don't need to give long justifications or make up lies. That only weakens your position and opens the door for negotiation. Assertive communication is simple and direct. I really appreciate you thinking of me for this project, but my workload at the moment doesn't allow me to accept. Or, I'm so glad for the invitation, but I won't be able to make it. Full stop. You don't owe anyone an apology for prioritizing your well-being. The people who truly respect you will understand. And those who don't, well, perhaps they're giving you valuable information about the nature of that relationship. Prepare for discomfort. When you start to change this pattern, it's natural for there to be some resistance, both internal and external. You will feel guilty at first. People who were used to your constant yes may be surprised, perhaps even annoyed. They might try to manipulate you to make you feel guilty. This is when your conviction will be tested. Remember why you started this journey. Remember the price you were paying. Take a deep breath and hold your boundary. This discomfort is temporary. It is the pain of growth. It's the fever that precedes the cure. Over time, people will adjust to your new stance. And most importantly, you will adjust. Guilt will be replaced by a feeling of integrity. Anxiety will give way to an inner calm. And what happens on the other side? What is the reward for this courageous journey? The reward is authenticity. It's the indescribable feeling of living a life that is truly yours. Your relationships will transform. Superficial connections may fade away, but the true ones will deepen. People will come to respect you more, not less, because they will see that you respect yourself. They will know that when you say yes, it's a yes that comes from the heart, and that has a measurable value. Your life force will return. You will feel less drained, less resentful. You will have more time and energy for the things that truly light up your soul. Maybe it's that hobby you abandoned, that book you wanted to write, that quality time with the people you love, or simply the pleasure of doing nothing without guilt. You regain ownership of your own life. Your self-confidence will flourish. Every time you honor your own needs, you send a powerful message to your subconscious. I matter. My voice deserves to be heard. My time is valuable. This confidence is not arrogance. It is a quiet, unshakable self-respect that radiates from you. You stop seeking external validation because you find an inexhaustible source of it within yourself. Epictetus, a former slave who became one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." In our context, we can adapt it. If you want to be free, be content to be thought by some as selfish or difficult. Freedom has a price. The price is the willingness to displease some people, sometimes in the name of your own integrity. And believe me, it is the best investment you will ever make in your entire life. Think of the metaphor of a tree. A tree does not try to please the other trees around it. It does not try to grow sideways so as not to cast a shadow on anyone. It simply seeks the light, deepens its roots into the earth, and grows as tall and strong as it can, according to its own nature. And in doing so, it becomes magnificent. It offers shade, fruit, shelter. It fulfills its purpose not by trying to be what others want, but by being fully itself. We are like that tree. Our purpose is not to contort ourselves to fit into small spaces, but to grow towards our own light, with authenticity. And it is by becoming fully who we are that we offer our greatest gift to the world. Life is an echo. If you live to please, you attract people who need to be pleased. If you live with authenticity, you attract people who value authenticity. You teach others how to treat you by the way you treat yourself. If you treat your time as cheap, others will too. If you treat your needs as secondary, others will too. The change begins with you. It is an act of personal leadership. So, I invite you to a practical exercise today. Think of one single small thing you can say no to this week. Something you would do out of obligation. It could be an extra meeting, a social event, a favor that would overwhelm you. Identify it. And when the moment comes, take a deep breath, use one of the techniques we discussed, and say your kind but firm no. Then, observe what happens inside you. Feel the space that opens up. Feel the lightness. Celebrate this small victory, for it is the first step towards a much freer and truer life. Always remember memento mori, the Stoic reminder that we are mortal. This life is not a rehearsal. We will not get a second chance to live it. Every day we live to please others is a day stolen from our one and precious existence. We cannot afford that luxury. The clock is ticking. Not to cause us panic, but to give us clarity. Clarity to focus on what truly matters. And what matters is to live and love fully, with courage and with an open heart. And that is only possible when we stop asking for permission to be ourselves. The journey to stop pleasing is, in essence, a journey back home. A return to your truest self, the one that may have been silenced and forgotten, but which never ceased to exist. It is a process of reclamation. And with every boundary you set, with every authentic no you utter, you are one step closer to home. So, what will be your first step? What is the first no you need to say to finally give a big resounding yes to your own life? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's build a community of courageous people willing to live with more authenticity. Your story might inspire someone to take that first step. And remember, every day with every choice, you are writing the story of your life. Make sure you are the author. Until next time.